Now, Mehdi, with all due respect, that is all bullshit. Yeah. Trump is not Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler murdered 12 million people, killing 6 million Jews in a Holocaust. Okay. There is no comparison to be made between Adolf Hitler and the Nazis and Donald Trump. And to persistently make it, as you and many others on the left have done for years, since he first ran in 2016, I think has been part of the problem of the political discourse in America. If you keep calling a guy Hitler, is it completely insane to think that at some point somebody's going to say, well, in that case, if he really is the new Hitler, we've got to kill him? I mean, wouldn't you be the first to construct a moral argument that if somebody is literally the new Hitler right now on this planet, there is an absolute moral imperative, indeed duty, to kill that person? Otherwise, he's not the new Hitler.
Okay.
He can't be both.
Let's unpack. There's a lot there, Piers. You said a lot there and played a long chunks. Let's respond to some of the things. First of all, you say that's all bullshit, you said, playing that clip a moment ago. That clip ended with Willie Geist of NBC reporting that Donald Trump said Hitler did some good things. How is that bullshit? That's what Donald Trump said.
Because if you read the whole context of what he actually said that day, it's a deliberately misconstrued tiny part of what he said.
It's not.
It is actually.
It's not. It's what John Kelly said.
Well,
hold on. You had a long question. Let me respond to you. He also said, you quoted me on MSNBC. Yeah, I was responding to Trump literally quoting lines from Mein Kampf, poisoning the blood of this country. Piers, you're not a racist, I hope. You don't agree with saying that immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country.
Do you think he is the new Hitler?
That is a Nazi line. Hold on. That is a Nazi. That's not. No. I'm responding to you. You played a clip of me. So I'm going to talk about what I said. I stand by the line that Donald Trump is echoing the rhetoric of Adolf Hitler. He is. That's a fact. Donald Trump praised Hitler, according to his own Republican chief of staff. That is a fact. And stop saying the left calls him Hitler. You know who called him America's Hitler? His running mate, J.D. Vance, a Republican senator, called him America's Hitler. So by
the way, he was wrong too.
The left.
He was
Republicans. Doesn't matter whether he was wrong. You're wrong to say it was the left. J.D. Vance called him. Well, no, you're wrong. You're wrong, Piers, because J.D. Vance is a Republican. He compared him to Hitler. People who have looked at what Trump and said has done, fascism experts, have said the guy is echoing fascist rhetoric. This is a guy, Piers, and I know you are the grandson of a British war hero who fought the Nazis. I know Captain Mark Oliver was a World War II hero who fought the Nazis. I don't say this lightly when I say this. Matthew Oliver, excuse me, war hero for our country. And yet today, you're taking light of the fact that Donald Trump quotes Adolf Hitler. He praises Nazis at Charlottesville as very fine people. He hosts a Nazi Holocaust denier for dinner at his home. Did you condemn that? I mean, it's absurd. And by the way, you say you're not right-wing.
I did condemn that.
You say you're not right-wing, Piers, and yet you give your right-wing guests a pass. Ben Shapiro came on your show on Monday. You didn't ask him about calling Barack Obama a fascist. Did he incite violence against Barack Obama? Why didn't you ask Ben Shapiro? Why are you playing a clip of me on Trump, but you didn't play a clip of Shapiro on Barack Obama?
Never mind what interviews I've done with other people. What I'm curious about is, do you...
Well, I can't... Well, when you tell me you're not right-wing, Piers, that's not correct.
Let me ask you...
Tougher on your liberal and left guests.
Mehdi, do you genuinely believe that Donald Trump is the new Hitler? Yes or no?
No, I don't believe he's the new Hitler. I believe he's someone who quotes Hitler. Do you believe that he should have hosted a Holocaust-denying Hitler supporter at his home for dinner?
No. I tweeted he shouldn't have done.
So then why are you giving him a pass? Why are you always praising him on your show? Why don't you start every show saying, why is a guy running for president who, come on, Piers, I've watched you for the last 3 days. You've been bathing him with praise. This is a guy who hosts a Holocaust at his home, quotes Hitler, praises Nazis, calls African countries shithole countries, tells non-white women to go back to the countries they came from, says black people like me more because I got indicted.
Don't misquote me.
You don't cover this stuff.
Don't misquote
me. And
by the way,
viewers know.
If you want to know my views about all the things you've just been saying, they're all there, public record. I'm a weekly columnist. I've condemned Trump for many things, but he is not the new Hitler.
That's easy to do, but overall, you're still supporting him for Hitler.
Let me point out my point.
You haven't called for him to stand down from the race. You called for Biden to stand down, but not a convicted criminal who praises Hitler.
Well, we're going to come to Biden where we'll find common ground, I'm sure. But the point...
Well, obviously, Piers Morgan, he is a big... Not just a big supporter, he's a huge supporter. Huge, you remember that? Huge. He's a huge supporter of Donald Trump because he knows that the genocide that is going on in Gaza can be stopped by Donald Trump after completely destroying Gaza. And once Donald Trump is elected, he is going to make sure that Israel gets all the weapons, all the bombs, as soon as possible. Right now, there is a hold-up. They're not getting it. And Benjamin Netanyahu, when he addressed the Congress, he made mention of that we are not getting the weapons. Give it to us as soon as possible. He's not getting it under the administration of Joe Biden, under the Democratic leadership. Once Donald Trump is elected, he's going to give him all the weapons, all the bombs, even more, and he will tell him, just go in Gaza. Remember his comment, Donald Trump, what he said about the mother of all bombs? He said that when he was president, and he said, this is what we will be using in Afghanistan. Yes, this is what he said, that he will be using it in Afghanistan. The mother of all bombs means a huge bomb that they made in the US military. Exactly the same thing that he is planning to do on Gaza. Drop a nuclear weapon if you could, obviously then cover it up with some fake news and blame it on the Palestinian authorities, saying that they do not present facts, they're lying and this and that. This is maybe not a nuclear weapon, but it will be something like that. So Piers Morgan knows that Trump can stop this humiliation, this public call out of Israel and their genocide in Gaza, and this is why he's rooting for Donald Trump. At the same time, as Mehdi Hasan, he pointed out that Piers Morgan is not willing to accept that he is a Donald Trump supporter, that he's a right-winger. We all know Piers Morgan always tries his best to be neutral on camera, but we have seen him getting exposed every single time, bringing Ben Shapiro, bringing pro-Israeli, pro-Zionist guests in his show, and then asking them, okay, so let me clarify this, or tell me more about this, or, this is what I think happened. He never condemns Israeli action. He never condemns IDF. Rather, it is quite the opposite. When he brings a pro-Palestinian, I call them pro-humanity guest in his show, the first thing he asks them, so do you condemn Hamas? This is Piers Morgan for you guys. Don't make any mistake. If you're in the States and you want to vote, do not vote Donald Trump, because this guy, he's up to no good. He's going to be completely destroying Gaza. That's what he's planning to do with his partner in crime, Netanyahu. And this is exactly why Mehdi Hasan is freaking out in this short clip.
Might not be making about Trump since the attempted assassination.
It's your double standards that's the problem.
I've only made 2 points about Trump,
I'm sure we have common.
Mehdi, I've only made 2 points about Trump since the weekend. One, he showed incredible personal courage in the seconds after he was shot to get back up when he didn't know if there were still other shooters out there, and to show such defiance. Okay, you may not think so, but I did, right? Secondly,
I'm saying fair enough. That literally means it's a fair point.
Okay. And secondly, the only other point I've made is I genuinely think this is going to propel him back to the White House. It's not I don't have a vote.
That is not the only other point you've made.
I haven't told anyone to vote for him. Mehdi, you've got to let me finish my sentence.
That is not true,
You've got to let me finish my sentences. You have to. As you would expect on your show, right? I believe he's going to win. I'm not telling people to vote for him. I can't vote for him. I just believe Donald Trump will now be the next president of the United States, partly because of what happened last weekend, and partly because of the decrepit and ridiculous and embarrassing state of the person he's up against, Joe Biden. So when you say I've been praising Trump for 3 days, no, all I've said is I think he showed great personal courage, and I think he's going to win the election. Those two things, by the way, I think are going to turn out historically to be completely true.
No, come on.
He's not, first of all, he's not competing with Joe Biden anymore. That's a bad news for Piers Morgan. Obviously, Joe is the genocide Joe. But thank God he's not competing. And we are not going to get any solution for the people of Palestine. It's only going to get and dragged on for as long as it takes to completely destroy the people of Gaza. And that is the unfortunate reality of today.